Hello there. So today we're going to be doing a warrior sequence. So if you've never done yoga before, there will be different options for the poses. So just doing what pose is suitable for you. Okay, so if we start in a lying down position, so lying flat on the spine, choosing the position that works well for you. So we can either have the knees bent, bringing the knees together and just bringing the feet to the edges of the mat, or we can lengthen the legs down the mat, again just having a gap between the legs, just letting the feet flop out. So if you have lower back issues, it's normally best to just have the knees together and the feet apart. So we're just getting the spine nice and comfortable on the mat. So the hands we can either rest on the belly, having the elbows wide, or we can bring the arms slightly away from the body with the palms facing up. So just slightly cupping the fingers. So getting the body nice and relaxed here, nothing to do. Maybe just moving the head from side to side, releasing any tension in the neck, bringing the head back to center, and just trying to find some stillness here for the body and also for the mind. So we'll spend the first couple of minutes just bringing ourselves into the space, relaxing the mind and the body. And we can either soften the gaze or close the eyes. So starting to tune into your breath. So just noticing your inhaling and your exhaling. So you may want to rest your hands on your belly if you're not already on there. And then just starting to feel that movement of the chest or the belly area rising and falling as you inhale and exhale. So noticing the rhythm of the breath. So are your breaths long or short, deep or shallow? So just noticing this. So just letting the spine be comfortable on the mat. Relaxing the body down. And just starting to notice how the body feels, how the mind feels. So just trying to maintain that stillness within the mind and the body. And still keeping that focus on those breaths. So starting to deepen the breath now, so bringing ourselves back into the space. So deep inhales and deep exhales. And then just gently starting to wiggle fingers and toes. So gently waking the body back up. And then you may want to just straighten the legs down the mat here. So just circling the wrists and the ankle. Moving the head from side to side. Still inhaling and exhaling. And then if we just bend into the knees, so just bringing the feet apart, knees apart, and then just bringing the arms out to the side. So stretching the arms away from the body, palms are facing up. Inhaling and exhaling. So pushing the backs of the arms and the backs of the hands into the floor. Just feeling a stretch in the arms and shoulders, backs of the shoulders. Pressing the soles of the feet down into the floor of the mat. Inhaling and exhaling. And then just starting to bring both knees down towards that right side. So knees don't need to come all the way down, just coming to where feels comfortable for you. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly bringing the knees back to centre. And we'll just take a breath here before we bring that onto the left side. Inhaling and exhaling. And then just bringing the knees down towards that left side. Inhale and exhale. And then bringing the knees back to centre. So lifting the soles of the feet from the mat, bringing the knees towards the chest, just holding onto the shins. So just keeping the knees and the feet together, just pulling the knees into the chest. So this is a really good stretch for the spine. So it relieves any tension in the lower back. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we can stay still here, or we can just rock from side to side and massaging the lower spine. Maintaining those inhales and exhales. And then coming back to centre. And then if we grab hold of the backs of the thighs, and then we'll rock back and forth to come into a seated position. So in your seated position, I'll turn this way. So sitting with the legs stretched out in front of the body. So pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. So engaging the muscles in the legs, so pushing the backs of the legs into the mat and pushing the toes to the ceiling. So we're maintaining a lengthened spine here. So imagining that a string is being pulled up through the crown of the head. And then if we just bring the palms to the floor, so pointing the fingertips away. If we push the hands into the mat, and this should give us some lift in the spine. So So inhaling and exhaling. Releasing the hands. So if we inhale, bringing the hands above the head, so bringing the palms together. So really lengthening those arms up towards the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bringing the hands down onto the shins. So just bringing them just below the knees. So inhaling and exhaling. And then see if we can just bring the hands a bit further down the legs. So don't worry if you can't, just bringing them to where it feels comfortable. So just rounding the spine slightly. So bringing the chin down towards the chest. So maybe feeling a stretch in the backs of the arms, maybe down the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. So lifting the chin, and then just slowly bringing the arms back. And then from here, we're going to transition onto our hands and knees. So for myself, I have arthritis in my knees. I find it uncomfortable and need extra padding for the knees. So I like to use a towel to give me that extra padding. But you can roll the mat over. Just makes it a little bit more comfortable. So we're coming into an all fours position. So a slight gap between the knees. The feet, we can either be on the tops of the feet or we can come onto the balls of the feet. The hands, we're pushing the hands down, so pushing the palms down into the mat. Spreading the fingers, making sure that that middle finger is pointing forward. So here, making sure that we are in alignment, so checking our shoulder and our wrists are aligned, our hip and our knee. So in our all fours position, we're going to bring some mobility to the spine. So we're going to dip the belly down, so pushing the belly down towards the mat and pushing the bottom away to the back of the mat. And looking forward. And then bringing that movement in the opposite direction. So rounding the spine, bringing the chin down towards the chest. So inhaling and dipping the belly down, bringing the chin away from the body, and then exhaling, rounding the spine, chin towards the chest. So last time, inhaling down, chin away, belly down towards the mat, and then exhaling, rounding the spine, chin towards the chest. And then coming back into a neutral position. Inhaling and exhaling. So now we'll do some warm-ups for the wrists. So just keeping the hands in the same position with those fingers spread, middle finger pointing forward. And then we're going to just gently rock back and forth. So we should maybe feel some tension in the wrist. So if it's too much for the wrist, we can bring the hands closer towards the knees, and this should help alleviate that pain. So it's a really good stretch for the wrists and the fingers. So pushing those hands down, and we can make this movement as big or as small as we would like. So if you want a little bit more, you can bring the shoulders over the wrist to increase that stretch, or you can bring the bum back down towards the heels, or it can be a small movement. It's entirely up to you. So then going from side to side, inhaling and exhaling. And then if we change the position of the hands, so just bringing the fingertips out to the edges of the mat. And then again, just coming back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling. And we go from side to side. And then bringing the hands back to face forward. And we'll just draw a couple of circles. So bringing the body round in a circle, and we can make our circle as big or as small. So you may want to again like bring the shoulders over the wrists, or you might want to make a nice small circle. So inhaling and exhaling as we're doing this, and then changing the direction of your circle. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if we just come up onto the knees, clasping the hands into a fist, so interlacing the fingers, and then just circling those wrists. So maintaining those breaths, so inhaling and exhaling. We separate the hands, shaking the fingers out. And then bringing the hands down. So again, we're back into all fours. So before we come up to a standing position, we're going to just have the knees wide, bringing the toes together, and then just bringing the bum down towards the heel. So don't worry if you can't bring it all the way down. If we can only come to this position, that's absolutely fine. And then just bringing the forearms down, maybe bringing the hands on top of each other, having the elbows wide, and just resting the head down. So the forehead can rest on the hands, or we can rest on the mat. And then just bringing the belly down between the knees. So inhaling and exhaling. And then if we lift the head, coming back into our all fours, we're going to roll over on the toes, and we're going to push the hips up towards the ceiling. So if you come up into this position and you feel it's too much on the wrist, then you can just come back down to all fours. So this pose is called downward dog. So I'm going to push into the hands and into the feet, push the hips to the ceiling. So my heels are lifted off the floor, knees are bent, pushing the hips up to the ceiling. So like I said, if this is too much pressure, then just bringing the knees back down. So coming back into your all fours, just swaying the hips here. Coming back to center, pushing it into the hands and the feet, and coming back in to downward dog, or staying down on the knees. And then if we all come up, walk to the front or the middle of the mat, and we're just standing in our forward fold. So just letting the arms dangle down, belly's coming down towards the thighs and bending into the knees. So we should be feeling a stretch in the legs. We grab hold of opposite elbow. So if we need to, we can just have a bigger gap between the feet. Letting the front of the body hang down. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing the arms back down. And then slowly starting to stack the spine. Making sure that the head comes up last. So standing on top of your mat, or standing in the middle or the front of your mat, just rolling the shoulders back. And then if we roll the shoulders forward, just bringing the head round in a circle. So inhaling and exhaling, changing the direction. And coming back to center. So inhaling the arms up. So we can have just a slight gap between the feet. And just maybe lifting the toes away from the mat. And placing the toes down. Lifting the heels. Placing the heels down. And then just rocking between the two. So rocking back and forth on the feet. And then just placing the feet down. So as we stand at the front of our mat, bringing the arms down by the side of the body. So remembering not to lock the knees out, so having a slight bend in the knees. So palms are facing forward. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears. So engaging the belly, so pulling the belly towards the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if we inhale, so bringing the arms up, bringing the palms together. And then bringing the hands down to heart center. So inhale the arms up. And then exhaling, bringing the hands down and folding forward, so bending into those knees if you need to. Inhaling and bringing the hands onto the shins, so coming into our half lift. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing the hands down. And then if we step back with the feet, so coming into our downward dog. So remembering that the heels are lifted and bending into the knees. Inhale and exhale. And then bringing the knees down. So I'll come back to use my padding, the knees. And we're down into our all fours position. So I'm going to step my left foot forward. And I'm going to bring my left hand onto my left knee. Then I'm going to bring the body up, bringing both hands to that knee. So if we need more stability here, we can just bring that foot out to the side. So helping with that balance. So bringing that the foot out, bringing both those hands on top of that left knee. So try to keep the length in the spine here. So inhaling and exhaling. And then if we bring the hands down to the mat, and then stepping that foot back, so coming back into one all fours position. So here we can just sway the hips if we need to. And then we're going to step that right foot forward. So again, we can just bring that foot out to the side. And then just slowly bring the hands onto that knee. This time just having the left hand on top of that right hand. So inhaling and exhaling. Trying to keep the spine nice and long. And then if we bring the hands down, stepping back to our all fours, swaying the hips. And then we're going to push into the hands and into the feet. So coming up on the balls of the feet, lifting the knees back into our downward dog. So here we can just pedal the feet, so releasing any tension in the hamstrings. Inhaling and exhaling. And then walking to the front of the mat. So folding forward, bending into those knees. And bringing the hands onto the shins for our half lift. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing the hands down. And then stacking the spine. Making sure your head comes up last. Not too fast, you start to feel dizzy. And we're back at the front of the mat. So maybe roll your shoulders back a couple of times. Rolling forward. And we'll do another round of that sun salutation. So inhaling, bringing the arms up, stretching the arms away from the body, palms together and hands down to heart center. So inhale, up, and then exhaling, bringing the hands down. So folding forward, bending into those knees. Inhaling and exhaling, coming into our half lift. Inhale and exhale. Back down to the floor, this time stepping back into our downward dog. Bringing the knees down, so back into our all fours position. Stepping that left foot forward, so remembering we can either bring the foot onto the mat or stepping the foot out to the side to help with that balance. So bringing the hands onto that knee again. So inhaling and exhaling. So we can either stay in this position with the hands on the knee, if that's enough for you, or we can we can bring the hands to the hips first. So first option is to have the hands on the knee. Second option is to bring the hands to the hips. So inhaling and exhaling. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can bring the arms up above the head. So palms are facing each other. So keeping that gap between the arms. Inhale and exhale. Bringing the arms down, hands back to the hips. Bringing the hands to the knee. And then down to the floor. Stepping back into all fours. And just swaying the hips. So we'll do that on the other side, so stepping that right foot forward. So from here, bringing the hands onto the knee first of all. So remembering to keep that length in the spine. So inhaling and exhaling here. So we can stay in this position, or we can bring the hands to the hips. Inhale and exhale. Staying in this position, or we can inhale and bring the arms above the head. Palms are facing each other, remembering there's a gap between the hands. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing the hands back to the hips. Inhale and exhale. And bringing the hands back to the knee. Back down to the floor. And stepping back, so back into all fours. Swaying the hips here if you need to. And then if we just widen the knees and just come into a quick rest pose, so bringing the bum down towards the heels. So the arms, we can either have the hands on top of each other, resting the head down either on the hands or on the mat, having the elbows wide, or we can stretch the arms out in front of the body, so getting a stretch in the arms and the shoulders. Again, bringing the head down. Or we can bring the arms to face the back of the mat. So choosing whichever position you'd like for your arms. Just resting the head down. Inhaling and exhaling. So slowly lifting the body, coming back into all fours. So like I said earlier, if at any point we go into a downward dog and you find that too much pressure, so always coming back to this position, or you can just come into your child's pose. So if it's too much, that's a really good position to come into to rest. You can rest at any point. So we'll come up into a downward dog to do some standing postures. So pushing into the hands and the feet, lifting the hips, bending into those knees, lifting the hips. Walking to the front of the mat. We're coming into our forward fold. Letting the arms and the front at the top of the body just dangle down. So maybe just widening the feet. And then slowly just stacking the spine. So from our standing position, so if we step our right foot forward, and then the left foot, the toes are pointing towards the long side edge of the mat. So having the foot out about 95 degrees, no, not 95, 45 degrees, and then having a slight gap between the feet. So you might find when you go into the posture that you need to change the position of your feet. So we're going to bend into that front knee. So because I've got long legs, I need to widen the gap between my feet. So bending into that front knee. So again, we check our alignment. So making sure that the knee and the ankle are aligned. So we're not pushing the knee too far out or have the knee too far back. So bending into that front knee. Back foot is at 45 degrees. So inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to just lift the arms. So arms should be shoulder height. And then we're going to look over the fingers on that right hand. So if at any point this is too much for the shoulders, just bring the arms down to the side and just keep the position of the legs. So again, just remembering to bend into that knee. So if you're lifting your arms, inhaling. Imagine that someone's putting your arms in opposite directions. Inhale and exhale. And then just bringing the arms down. So we're going to straighten this front leg. And then we're going to take this right hand. And we're going to just bring this hand. So we may need to change the position of the leg. So you might need to just bring this leg in slightly. Still keeping the position of the foot. So this front hand, the right hand, we're going to just run this hand just below the knee. So not locking the knee out, just keeping a micro bend in that knee. And the body is just turning towards that left side. And we're going to just rest that left hand on that left hip. So inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to slowly raise the body. And we're going to turn the feet so that we're facing the long side edge of the mat, and we've now got a nice wide gap between the legs. So we should maybe start to feel a stretch on the inside of the legs, keeping the spine nice and long, and just bringing the hands to the hips. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if we bring the arms down, so we're going to do the left side. So we're going to just turn the feet now so that we're facing the left side. So just adjusting the feet to what you need to. And then we're going to bend into that front knee. So bending into that left knee. Again, just changing the position between your feet if you need to. Again, checking the alignment. The ankle and the knee are aligned. So making sure that we're not pushing that knee out to the side, we're keeping that knee central. So we're bent into that knee, back leg, the toes are pointing towards that long side edge of the mat. And we can either keep the arms here, or we can start to raise the arms. So making sure that the arms are shoulder height. And this time we're bringing our eye gaze towards that left hand. Inhaling and exhaling. So remembering at any point if it's too much, just bringing the arms down. So bringing the arms up if your arms are out and away from the body. Inhale and exhale. Bringing the arms down. And then straightening that front leg. So maybe bringing that back leg in slightly. So the front leg is straight, and we're going to run that left hand just below the knee, so not resting the hand on the knee, and bringing that right hand to the hip. So turning the body towards that right side. So inhaling and exhaling in our triangle pose. Turning the body, raising the body back up. And again, just turning the feet so our legs are wide. So maybe widening the legs a bit more. Bringing the hands to the hips again. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if we just heel toe the feet back together nice and slow. And then just turning to face the front of the mat. Bringing the hands down. Inhale the arms up. Hands down to heart center. So inhale. And then exhale, bringing the hands down, so coming into our forward fold. So maybe having a gap room between the feet. And just bringing the hands down or fingertips down. So bending into the knees. And then we're going to step the feet back into our downward dog, and just bring the knees down, bringing the toes together, bringing the bum towards the heels, coming into our rest pose again. So picking the option for your arms, so make the hands on top of each other, bringing the arms out, or bringing the hands back to face the back of the mat. Taking a few breaths in your child's pose. So raising the body and coming to sit down. So for these next seated positions, we can either have the feet stretched in front of the body, or we can cross the legs here. So making sure we're maintaining that lengthened spine, and we've got the shoulders away from the ears. So we just rest the hands on the knees. Inhaling and exhaling. And then if we inhale the arms up, bring the palms together, hands to heart center. So inhale the arms up, this time having a gap between the hands, and palms are facing each other. So feeling a stretch down the sides of the body. So really stretching those fingers away like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we twist towards that right side. So bringing that left hand to the right knee. Just bringing that hand to the side of the body, the right hand. And then just looking towards that right side. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, bringing the arms up. Again, stretching those arms away, feeling that stretch down the sides of the body. And then coming to the left side, so right hand on left knee, right hand just to the side of it. Inhaling and exhaling. Next inhale, lifting the arms. And then this time bringing the hands down in front of the body. So we can bring the hands up so that we're on our fingertips. So remembering not to lift the sitting bone. So if you need to have the fingertips back, then that's fine. Keeping that length in the spine. We can either stay with the fingertips here, or we can start to walk them forward, just making sure the sitting bones stay grounded to the mat. And then bringing the chin down towards the chest. Maybe you can bring the palms down, remembering to keep if the sitting bones lift, to bring the fingertips back. Inhaling and exhaling. Lifting the chin, walking the hands back. And then if we bring the legs out wide, so pushing the heels into the mat, pointing the toes to the ceiling. And then nice wide gap between the legs. Again, just bringing the fingertips down. Inhaling and exhaling. And then just bringing the fingertips forward or bringing the palms down. You should start to feel a stretch on the inside of the thighs. Then inhaling and exhaling. And then just bringing the chin down towards the chest. Inhale and exhale. Slowly lifting the chin, walking the fingertips up. And then if we bring this left foot in, so the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. So if the knee is lifted off the mat, that's fine. So not forcing the knee down, just coming to where it's comfortable, because it will depend on the restrictions that you have in your hip. So if you have those restrictions, then the knee may be lifted. Don't worry about that, that's fine. So sole of the foot is on the inside of that right thigh. And then we're going to just lean the body towards this right side. So we don't need to come too far, just till we start to feel a stretch in that outer hip. So you can just bring the hands just below that knee. So pushing the heel into the mat, pushing the toes towards the ceiling. So inhaling and exhaling. Slowly lifting the body and then bringing that leg out. And we'll do that on the right side, so bringing that right foot in, sole of the foot to the inside of that thigh. And then just bringing the hands just below the knee on that left side. So inhaling and exhaling. Lifting the body and then stretching the leg out. So now bringing the legs together. So again, pointing the toes to the ceiling, lengthening that spine. And then inhaling and then bringing the hands down. So rounding the spine, should be feeling a stretch down the backs of the leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Slowly lifting the head. And then if we come to a lying down position, so lying down on the spine, so bending into the knees, and then if we lengthen the right leg down the mat, bringing that left knee in, so interlacing the fingers around the shin, pulling that knee into the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. And if we grab the outside of that knee, bringing that left arm out to the side, and then just rolling onto that right hip, so bringing that left knee down towards the mat or the floor. So if the knee's hovering, that's fine. So coming into our spinal twist. And then just looking up towards the ceiling. Rolling back to center, and then just lengthening that leg down the mat. So bringing that right knee into the chest, interlacing the fingers around that shin, pulling that knee into the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. grabbing the outside of that right knee, rolling onto that left hip, bringing the right arm out to the side with that palm facing up. Spinal twist on the right side. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming back to center. Bending into the knees, so soles of the feet to the floor. Gap between the knees. Bringing the knees into the chest. We hold onto the shins. And then just gently rocking from side to side. Massaging the lower spine. And then we'll set up for our final pose. So whether you want to have the knees bent, so bringing the knees together and bringing the feet to the outside edges of the mat, or you can stretch the legs down the mat, having a gap between the feet, letting the feet flop out to the side. So if you have lower back issues or your back just feels a bit tight after that sequence, then I would recommend just bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet out to the edges. So the arms, we can have them resting on the belly, or we can have the arms away from the body with the palms facing. So resting the backs of the shoulders down. So letting the floor support you. So softening the gaze, closing the eyes. So we lengthen the back of the neck, so just tucking the chin in slightly. And just finding some comfort here. So starting to notice the breath. So starting to notice those inhales and exhales. So just checking in with how we're feeling. So just noticing your mood. Starting to notice the rhythm of the breath. So noticing whether those breaths are long or short, deep or shallow. So noticing how the chest or the belly area rises and falls as you inhale and exhale. So you may want to just rest your hands on your belly or your chest if you haven't got them there. And just noticing where you feel those breaths more. So you may feel them in the chest area. You may feel them in the belly area. You may feel it in the back of the body more, or maybe the sides of the body. So just noticing these things, not looking to change them. So still keeping that focus on the breath. And we'll just have a minute or two in silence. So just keeping your focus on the breath. So still keeping that focus on the breath. So starting to deepen the breath. So deep inhales and deep exhales as we start to awaken the body. Gently starting to wiggle the fingers and toes. And just moving the head from side to side. So circling the wrists in the hand. You just stretch the legs down, pointing the toes to the ceiling, and then pointing the toes away from the and bring the arms out to the side, inhaling and exhaling, and then if we bend into the knees, bringing the knees into the chest, so having the knees nice and wide, and again just rocking from side to side. And if we hold on to the backs of the thighs, rocking back and forth, come into a seated position. So again, either coming with the legs out in front of the body, or crossing the legs. So inhaling the arms up, palms together, hands down to heart center. So thank you for joining me for this practice. I really hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.